Hello and welcome back to Forge Yourself Forward. I'm your host, Mike. Stop me if you've heard this before. You got to do your best. You got to be your best. You want to be the best. Whether it's from a television show, media, a YouTube personality, your friends, your family, even the voice inside your head, I guarantee at some point you've either heard or been encouraged to be the best. Here's one little problem with that. What the hell does being the best mean? It's actually really confusing. Are you being the best in maybe your town, your state, your country, the world? Ooh, it sounds a little confusing. And what does it mean to be the best? You can see more movies or television shows where people argue who's the greatest baseball player of all time, and nobody can ever come to a consensus. Same thing for basketball. Most other sports, professions, hell, you name it, everything can come down to some form of a subjective who is the best. So it got me thinking. Something that I've been chasing, obviously, for a long period of my life is trying to become the best at things that I do. Whether it's trying to be the best lawyer that I can be, or trying to be the best at, a lift when I'm working out, or whatever. If I was in a sport meet, didn't matter. And what I've really come to realize is that being the best is incredibly confusing, and it is constantly a moving goalpost where ultimately I don't think you're going to really have that much happiness. Instead, what I changed my mindset to, and what I have found to be really useful, is chasing your best. Being the best that you can be in that moment. Not the best you were 3 years ago, not the best you are in 3 years, the best you are today, the best you are right now. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, it's a little loosey-goosey. What the hell does that even mean? Alright, why don't I put my money where my mouth is? Over the last few months, I have been pursuing my own best. Finding what I can do best for myself in the moment, in the day. And not necessarily looking at a super long-term goal and saying this is the only goal and nothing else will matter. No, I'm looking at it from a day-to-day perspective. And the best way that I've found for myself to be able to actually create the best for me is I measure almost everything that I do. And yes, I know it sounds crazy. It is definitely something that the vast majority of people are not doing. However, if you're listening to this, if you're looking to improve yourself in any way, and I'm not just talking about the self-improvement nonsensical community that you hear where everybody's trying to sell you a book. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm literally just telling you about my own journey and trying to help you on that road because, to be honest, I've been where you are. And it's difficult. There's a lot of information out there. There's a lot of confusing information out there. And everybody seems like they want to hack or this, that, or the other. I'm going to do an entire video actually about why you don't want to hack. You want the struggle. You want the difficulty for a lot of reasons. And we're not going to get into that today. So why don't we talk about being your best? So what does that mean? Well, first and foremost, you have to start to track whatever it is you want to improve in your life or what you want to be the best in. Perhaps you want to be more educated. So, if you're going to start that way, you're going to have to select a number of books. You might have to select how many pages or minutes you're going to read per day. And you have to track that. And you have to be honest with yourself. Did I do the 30 minutes of reading each day that I was supposed to? Did I read the 25 pages that I was supposed to? In the 25 pages that I read, could I put them down or jot them down into a couple of sentences? If not, you know what you need to work on. If that was too easy, and maybe you did 25 pages in 15 minutes and you really had 20, maybe you need to up the ante. You need to constantly be looking at what you are doing and analyzing it as if you were looking over bank records for your account and you suddenly had missing money. Sounds a little nuts, but let's think about this. The old adage that you will hear a lot of people say, whether it's on social media, whatever, is if you want to lose weight, you need to eat less and move more. Partially true, partially false. I'm not a diet expert, but I can tell you from my own experience, what I have found works was when I I did hire a coach who really helped me understand different parts of nutrition that, even though I have read several books, I have watched several podcasts, I have done several different things to try to understand nutrition better, it was only when I actually hired a professional that I really started to understand what it is that nutrition, or how it really applied to me in different ways. The second thing that it is, I started measuring and tracking every single thing that I ate over the last 2.5 months. And yes, it does sound a little extreme. Yes, it does sound very difficult. But that was what I wanted to do. I wanted to become the best version of myself in terms of a health standpoint. I wanted to lose the excess body fat. I wanted to improve my cardiovascular system. And the ways that I did that was, first, I monitored every single thing that I ate. I tracked down the weight. I tracked down the type of food. I kept a log. I made sure I didn't go over my calories. I made sure that my macronutrients were correct. It has been challenging? Absolutely. But have I seen improvement? Yes. Am I the best version of myself today? Yeah, right now I am. I'm the best version of myself compared to who I was yesterday. Who I am tomorrow? Don't know yet. But right now, yes. Also, I started tracking other things. We are in a time right now where almost every single person has some form of a cell phone, a smartphone, something like this. All you need to do is get a pedometer app and track your steps. See how many steps you're getting in a day, whether you have a Fitbit, a Garmin, whatever, Apple Watch. You can track your steps. Every day you can know how many steps you're getting. You can know whether you're getting 2,000 steps, 4,000, 10,000, 20,000. And you can track and measure that and improve that in any way you want. Or dial it back if you're going too far. Some people are doing 30,000 steps a day and it might be hurting them. You analyze that, you ratchet it down. Maybe being the best is not necessarily going for 15-mile walks every day. Maybe it's recovering a little bit, making sure that your body's repairing. You know, we often fall into this trap of wanting to be the best. I know I have for a long time. I always wanted to be, I said it for a long time, I want to be the best trial attorney in the state. Well, here's the problem with that. What does that mean? Does that mean the biggest verdicts? Does that mean the most impressive cases? Does that mean the best reputation? Does that mean setting the best case law? All of those things are different, and they're not all done by one person. They're not even done by one person in each area. It's probably multiple different people. It's also subjective. It goes year to year. It could go case to case. Same thing for any other area of life. Look at the Olympics as maybe the only example of where you're able to see who the best is, but you're able to see who the best is on that one day in that one event, and that's it. The other side of this that I thought about, and this might sound a little odd, is there are certain people, certain truly exceptional individuals, I would call them the 1 in 8 billion, where maybe being the best overall is not necessarily their best. As crazy as that sounds, maybe if they don't give their all, while they're still winning and they might be beating everyone else, they're not beating the potential that they really have inside them. And that sounds ridiculous, but could be true. And last, I want to leave you with this. If you give your all, and you're honest about it, you're tracking it, you really know if you're giving your all, a couple of things happen, at least that I found over the long haul. First, there's a tremendous amount of satisfaction that comes with it. Even if being your best is not anywhere near the best, it might not even be average, it could be below average. You earned that. You did that yourself, and you did it through effort, through struggle, through difficulty. And it's when you do those things that self-confidence not only builds, but you have a self-worth in yourself for doing those things, for going those extra miles. And that's the real difference maker, and that's where the real meaning is. I think that if most people are truly honest with themselves and started monitoring what they're doing on a day-to-day basis and how they could improve it, not only would the world be better, I think a lot of people would be a lot happier. So give it a try. Choose an area of your life. You don't have to choose all of them. Choose one. Start with one. and start meticulously tracking every single thing you do. If you did 10,000 steps and your goal is to be able to be more active, maybe move for 10,500 for the next week. You did that for a week, 11,000, then 11,500. Small incremental changes over a long time will make a huge difference and will make you the best version of yourself. Give it a try, and if the worst that comes to it and you don't improve, change it up and go for something else. It's what the best people do. It's what I've learned, and I think you can too. Have a great one.